So today's supposed to be my birthday and everything, right? It's technically 11:05, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say,
Okay.
I think it's quite fitting that we just watched an episode of a shit ton of people dying in The Walking Dead.
Oh my god.
You know, just the fact alone that we had such an interesting little scene that we just watched in the 4th episode of The Walking Dead. I just gotta say, it's so great to see people die on your 19th birthday. It's kind of
Full circle.
full circle. You know,
Big Sean.
you know, I go so far as to say it's literary genius, you know, on the part of God.
And I love that this is like the first, either minicast or podcast, whichever comes first, that we finally do together because we're in the same place.
Yeah, this is the first one we do where we're actually in the same room. I find it kind of funny.
And it's, listen, to anyone who's a fan of The Walking Dead, that if they're watching this for any reason, I just started watching the show with Gabe, who's a fucking Walking Dead super fan. So he's watching it again. I'm watching it with him.
I'm not those weirdos who know like the exact numbers of shit, like how many guns were in the bag in episode 1. Like I don't know that shit.
15.
Okay. Excuse me, big man.
But I just saw episode 4 and I want to cry. I want to fucking
Me. Hey me.
My heart
damn, bro.
It sank to my feet. Like how
I never thought the name Amy would make me want to cry. That was just so depressing.
Oh my god.
It was a good depressing though, to be honest. I think it was a necessary one.
But here's a topic switch from depressing death. 19 years old. How you feel?
I feel like I'm 18 still. You know, I think someone turned on the lag switch for the feeling of being 19. I don't know if there's supposed to be a feeling, but yeah, I'm still legal. I can still go out with 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds. So I see no difference in what has occurred. Perhaps the next marker will be when I'm 21.
At least you're like one of the good ones. You know what I mean? You're not
What
like.
do you mean?
You're not like certain people I've had the displeasure of meeting that are like fucking 21, 22. They'll look at a fucking 15-year-old sophomore and they're like, yeah, I'd smash. You know what I mean?
Oh shit, yeah, that's called pedophilia.
Yep.
We all know people who like you know. I know people who are 13 and look older than me.
My little brother is 14 years old and he's fucking taller than me. You know what I mean? Like
he looks like he's a linebacker.
He looks like he belongs to what is it called? The Anuai family from wrestling. You know, like The Rock, Roman Reigns, Yokozuna.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's Samoan.
The hair,
I have to say, he kind of reminds me of like a real life version of Maui, but like obviously not as buff.
If Hector's listening to this, I hope he takes this as a compliment.
I mean, I would. I've always found those like that look to be very interesting. Not like no gay shit. It's just no gay shit. It's just like, you know, it's an interesting look.
He's probably watching this like, oh thank God.
Nah, it's like, you know, it's an interesting look.
If Hector does listen to this, for the sake of humor, he's gonna grow up to be like, you know, like when in high school he's gonna be the light skinned kid from memes.
I was the light skinned kid from memes. The only difference was that I'm thinner than everyone else. Watch, when I get bulky, don't worry, I'll be that light skinned guy.
Rico Suave Jr.
Precisely. That's why I'm developing the waves. Light skin 101.
You're preparing yourself.
The only thing is that I'm not gonna get piercings in my ears because I'm not into that. If I did though, like if I were to wear earrings, I'd wear the magnet ones.
Something.
I don't know why I found that funny.
The magnet one?
Yeah, you can wear magnet earrings where it's like one end. Yeah. Like it looks like a normal earring, but
and
instead of getting pierced,
earwax.
No, it just magnetizes through your ear so that it just stays there.
Magnezone from Pokemon.
Yeah, so you have the look, but without the commitment of having a fucking hole in your ear.
Yeah, the dispensers that I work at, they have like illusion piercings. So like.
Yeah. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, so it's like it's there, but
it's like a sticker.
There's no hole. It's like dry humping.
See, let me get into this real quick. Not to get political,
but what the fuck is milk?
No. But dry humping is like a nice way to get into sex.
I agree.
Like, I think everyone at one point or another has either made out with a girl and dry humped her, or like hugged her and then proceeded to dry hump, which then leaded to sex.
Vice versa too.
What?
Vice versa. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, I'm sure there's been
like sex that went to dry humping.
No, I meant like I'm sure there's been women.
Oh yeah,
who
obviously.
have done the same shit.
I think women do it more than men sometimes.
No need to overanalyze, you know.
Like you ever see those memes? Not really memes. You ever see those TikToks where girls are like me cuddling with my boyfriend or whatever, and then she like purposefully shakes her ass on his crotch? Like, you know, that's I guess her version of dry humping.
You ever seen like those hot girl summer / like spring break memes, and it's like, that's how I met your father, kids. Like, that's how I met your mother. You know, just your typical dumb shit.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's necessary sometimes to get the spark started.
Something completely off topic. Completely off topic. So, E3 happened recently, especially Nintendo. We saw it together. I'm just going to say this
Dungeons and Dragons.
That was a good one. That was a very good one. That was the Xbox one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's on PlayStation 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm planning on getting it. It's a good looking game.
Let me just say, if I had to choose who won E3 by a hair, I'd say Nintendo.
I agree.
Because first, before I talk about like the Smash Brothers thing, Metroid is actually a very big reveal.
Yeah, I haven't heard of a Metroid game in a long time.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4, the fact that they said they're still working on it is amazing to me because we haven't had a Metroid Prime game in years. But just a Metroid game in general, the Metroid Dread game coming out, which I'm definitely getting. That's a fucking definite. I just learned that there hasn't been a main Metroid game in 19 years.
So the last time they made a Metroid game, I was born.
Probably, yep. So it was probably like one of the Metroid Prime games for the GameCube.
That's crazy.
Which is fucking insane to me, you know. And I like to think of the evolution, you know what I mean? Because I remember back when I was... No, yeah. It took me a second, I didn't realize.
Ad-libs.
Incineroar. Great Ninja. But
Diamond and Pearl is going to be ass. But we'll talk about that later.
No. I disagree, actually.
That's fine.
No, I mean, like, in terms of the gameplay. I mean, the gameplay-wise. You know what I mean?
Well, the gameplay is going to be the same. I'm talking about literally everything else.
All right.
Because the gameplay kind of remains the same.
This is like full circle to the first podcast episode we made when you talked about the Predator game.
Yeah. I'm going to do a hot take.
Hot take, all right. Go ahead.
Yeah,
piss off the masses like you usually do.
Sure. But, we'll do that. We'll do that after we're done talking about what we're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't want to like interrupt anything.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, the Metroid Dread thing was awesome. Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
I thought that was super cool though.
That was amazing.
That they decided, you know what? Even though we have another game coming out, we're gonna give you something to occupy you. Like providing you a new DLC with some cool stuff.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity are my first ever Zelda games in general. Am I correct in guessing Breath of the Wild was yours too? Your first Zelda? I
would classify it as my first Legend of Zelda because technically I played Skyward Sword, but I never completed it. I did like the first 2 chapters and then I don't know what happened. But yeah, I would consider this.
That was Sonic and the Secret Rings for me. I don't know. I just never beat it.
Not the one where he turns into a werewolf?
No, that's Unleashed. That's the one where he met the genie and he had like the ring and the fire on his chest.
Okay, yeah, I know which one you're talking. Oh, I can't lie. The soundtrack was kind of fire on that.
No,
one.
Yeah.
Even though the controls suck.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick hot take. That game was hated for no reason.
I disagree. The controls were ass.
Maybe it was because my Wii remote wasn't as busted yet, but
perhaps. I mean, I have to say the mini games made the game. I enjoyed the mini games more than the actual game.
Yeah, back then, this was before All Hallows and everything like that. It was one time my brother and I played the mini games on the Wii, and
it was way better than the actual game.
There was the rug mini game where you had to pull as many as you could.
There was the balloon one.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I peed my pants in laughter because Hector tried to pull it. He didn't know how to do it. But the thing was, the minute that genie would fall from there, I would just shake it like crazy, and all of a sudden you just see Tails just taking a whole bunch of fucking rugs everywhere, and I'm just like, this is amazing! Like,
I found the secrets.
Yeah, I won like 95-5. Like, how does that? It's unheard of.
Interesting.
Although I will say this, best Wii game of all time is Smash Brothers Brawl. You cannot tell me otherwise. Anyway, let's see.
That's interesting. I agree.
Smash Brothers came in with a crazy announcement, and it shocked me to all like my entire core because I'm a Tekken fan. I love Tekken, and the fact that Kazuya made it into the game just made my fucking week. But I'm surprised people didn't think of Tekken. You know what I mean? Tekken's one of the best fighting games ever created. You know what I mean? Like, especially like in Japan.
But I think it's because it's not one of the bigger ones. You know, like, don't get me wrong. I think Tekken has a long history.
Oh, of course.
And I think that makes it notable.
Yeah.
But it's not... I wouldn't say it's at the same level as, like, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. It's maybe more like an Injustice. Where, like, it's around, but it's not the first game you pick up in terms of fighting games, you know?
I'm going to say this right now.
Okay.
I think that's a controversial opinion, and I'll tell you why.
That's fine.
Because Tekken has been around since, the late 90s, I think?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People say Tekken 3 is one of the best. I played Tekken 6 and 7 growing up.
Okay.
And the game was fun as shit. You know what I mean? Especially, I don't know, my playing is people like Yoshimitsu, King, Panda. They were fun as shit. And it was just... My little brother used to kick asses, the character Bryce, if anyone remembers him. But another thing I noticed was just different collaborations within games. Like Street Fighter versus Tekken exists. Akuma from Street Fighter made an appearance in Tekken 7, I think.
Okay.
And even in the game, he does the classic move where, like, Akuma, like, I forgot. I feel like such a bad gamer. There's the move he does where, like, the screen goes black and you see his logo like fucking fly across the screen, and you see a bunch of like punching sound effects and, like, you know, the lights flashing, and then all of a sudden your character is down on the floor while he stands over you.
That's pretty cool.
You know what I mean? I know it's like Demon something, and I'm probably gonna get flamed for this.
Demon Souls. Oh my gosh, don't start that shit. What was I saying just now? There was
Oh yeah, you were gonna talk about...
I forgot. There was a controversial thing I was gonna say.
Diamond and Pearl.
Oh yeah, I feel like Diamond and Pearl is gonna be ass, and it's purely based off nostalgia and trying to attract new audiences with old shit.
I am small.
There is no notable difference between Diamond and Brilliant Diamond. I have seen no difference. The only difference being the animation, and they might change a thing or two in the story if they feel like it. We haven't seen Dialga yet, which I found very interesting. I found it very strange that they didn't show Dialga in the trailer.
Did they show Palkia?
No, they didn't show her either. That's why I'm like, what the fuck? You know, those are like the staple characters. Even in Sword and Shield, they showed Zamazenta and Zacian. I finally said their fucking names right. But yeah, you know, like, that's the first time I would say that I haven't seen, even for the cover art, I didn't see, you know, Dialga or Palkia. I just saw the title, and it was in blue, and then the other one was in pink. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it seems like it's a normal Pokemon game.
Yeah. On
the other hand, I would go so far as to say Arceus is going to be better. At least for me. I think that the what's it called? Open world aspect. Because we had that in Sword and Shield. We had a bit of an open world area, and it was interesting. But the issue that I constantly found was that if I'm in a particular spot, to get back to that spot from, let's say, like a certain, like, for what's those places called, the nurseries or whatever?
Yep. Pokemon centers.
Yeah. going from the Pokemon Center to whatever part of the wild areas I was already in was an issue for me. So unless in Arceus they do the same thing that they did in Legend of Zelda, where they're like, oh, you know, Breath of the Wild to be specific, where they gave you little checkpoints, and then it was in moderate distance of one another, so that you had enough distance where it was like you would have to work to get to where you were, but at the same time you don't get lost going in that same sort of direction. That's the only thing I'm worried about in Arceus, but otherwise I'm excited because I want to capture Arceus.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what's been happening.
Yeah,
for the most part. It's kind of late.
I want to capture four-legged Jesus. I want to read the lore on him.
Heroes never die.
Okay, Mercy.
Legends never die. I got you in my size. Let me stop. So yeah, we're probably gonna go to bed now because of we got some shit to do tomorrow.
Like what? Like die? No, I'm just kidding.
Sure.
And yeah, tonight we're gonna stand and fight forever. Don't copyright. Hopefully they don't copyright us. But yeah.
Nah, for 10 seconds of singing, I doubt it.
And it was bad singing, so they're probably gonna be like, you know what? We'll give them the pass. That shit was ass.
Poo poo.
So we're gonna get demonetized because we can't say poo poo.
Imagine.
We can't say Virginia.
How do you demonetize a channel that doesn't?
For saying Virginia? I don't know.
West Virginia.
Country homes, take me home.
Country homes takes me home.
Oh yeah. Country homes. Country road.
Take me home.
There you go. That's what I meant to say.
To the place where I belong.
West Virginia. Wait.
Mountain Mama. Take me home. Country roads.
Pussy.